Good morning. Good, how are you? Keeping an eye on me this morning? Thank you. I need strict supervision. Always.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm your host, Kimberly Kyler Lubinich, and it's a pleasure to welcome you here today to our Sunday gathering. And while we wait for the start, we invite you to enjoy the music of the beautiful Nathan Aswell.
Wow, the beautiful Nathan Aswell.
Very beautiful. Gorgeous.
You're still on my Christmas list, by the way. Good morning, everyone. In keeping with our guest speaker this morning and the theme of today, which is all about surrender and devotion, I have some really beautiful songs to get us into the service this morning, starting with Across the Universe by John Lennon.
Words are flowing out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither while they pass, they slip away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my open mind, possessing and caressing me. Jai Guru Deva Om. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Images of broken light which dance around me like a million eyes. They call me on and on across the universe. Thoughts meander like a restless wind inside a letterbox. They tumble blindly as they make their way across the universe. Jai Guru Deva Om. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Sounds of laughter, shades of earth are ringing through my open views, inciting and inviting me. Limitless, undying love which shines around me like a million suns. It calls me on and on across the universe. Jai Guru Deva Om. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Jai Guru Deva. Jai Guru Deva. Jai Guru Deva. Jai Guru Deva. Thank you. Now let's get you singing with me, because that's the whole idea. We all know Amazing Grace, right? Amazing grace, 'twas grace. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, through many dangers, toils and snares, I have already come. 'Twas grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been here, when we've been here 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. First verse again. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. And now to take us into the service, just a little bit of a song from Godspell. Remember Godspell? Day by day. Day by day, oh dear Lord, three things I pray: to see Thee more clearly, love Thee more dearly, follow Thee more nearly, day by day, day by day. Day by day, oh dear Lord, three things I pray: to see Thee more clearly, love Thee more dearly, follow Thee more nearly, day by day, day by day. Day, oh dear Lord, three things I pray: to see Thee more clearly, love Thee more dearly, follow Thee more nearly, day by day, day by day, day by day. I pray, by day, day by day. Oh dear Lord, three things I pray: to see thee more clearly, to see thee more clearly, love thee more dearly, love thee more dearly, follow thee more dearly, follow thee more dearly, day by day, day by day, day by day. Oh dear Lord, three things I pray: to see thee more clearly, love thee more dearly, oh, see thee more clearly, love thee more dearly, oh, see thee more clearly, love thee more dearly, follow thee more nearly, day by day, day by day, by day, by day, by day.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Nathan. Puts everybody into such a receptive mode. Thank you. Good morning, Unity community. Thank you so much for being here on such a beautiful Sunday. I'm your host, Kimberly Kyler, and we warmly welcome all people, all faiths, and all lifestyles here at Unity. Today we stand upon the unceded ancestral lands of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh-speaking peoples, noble guardians of these lands since time immemorial. It's here that we gather to learn, grow, and deepen in our awareness of spirit. Whether you are here live with us in the sanctuary today or tuning in on Zoom or YouTube, we're glad you could make it. We've got some great music coming up, a group meditation, and an inspiring talk to inspire your practice for the coming week. Here at Unity, it's our mission to build personal and community well-being through universal spiritual teachings and practices. Now, please join me in our opening invocation. All together now. There is one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And now will you please rise and join us in singing this morning's group song, God, You Are.
God, you are every mountain. God, you are every ocean. God, you are every canyon, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every morning. God, you are every midnight. God, you are every moment, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. God, you are every sunrise. God, you are every moon glow. God, you are every star shine, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every springtime. God, you are every snowfall. God, you are every season, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you.
gosh, I think I have a new favorite. That was amazing. Everything about. Thank you. All right, so today's Unity Daily Word is gratitude. Gratitude is in my heart's song. Gratitude is my heart's natural response when I think of the best life has to offer. But sometimes when I compare my circumstances with someone else's, or when I am distracted by negative thoughts or challenging situations, my closed heart may feel resentment rather than gratitude. I let the first twinge of resentment remind me to return to gratitude. I pause, breathe, and remember the truth of my being. Knowing I am a unique expression of God, I open my heart and realize again the divine presence that is always with me. I mindfully reconnect with the indwelling life, love, wisdom, understanding, and strength that have helped me grow through even the most challenging experiences of my life. My heart sings with gratitude. Today's message is about the incredible power of our personal stories and how, as the author of our stories, we can ultimately create stories of healing and spiritual victory. So let's get ready for some aha moments with 5 statements of spiritual truth. All together now. I am connected to infinite wisdom. The power that created the universe created me. I am manifesting the divine's vision for my life. I trust that divine will is my spiritual victory. I am truly higher powered. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. And now please rise and join us in singing our new English translation of the Aramaic version of the Lord's Prayer.
Spirit, creator and life of all, you create a space inside us and fill it with your presence. Our wonders now prevail. Your one desire flows through us, sanity fills our pores. You give us this day our physical and spiritual nourishment. You untangle the knots of error that bind us as we also release others. Don't let appearances make us forgetful of the source. We're born free to act from our highest nature. From your presence comes the glorious harmony of love. And these words are fertile ground from which our future grows. Amen.
Now, if you'd like a copy of that Aramaic prayer, you will find it in the back of your seats on beautiful blue cards. You can even post it beside your vision board or something. Okay, so now it's my beautiful pleasure to introduce Maitreyi. Maitreyi hails from South India and over the years has been honored with many titles in India, such as Yoga Shiromani, which means gem, Yoga Shamal, which means expert, and Yoga Sharnarini, which means guide, all of which acknowledge her gift as a spiritual teacher. In fact, Maitreyi was one of the youngest teachers ever to be invited to sit on the World Yoga Council Advisory Board. Maitreyi is a valued source of spiritual wisdom here at Unity, so it's with great pleasure that we present with her this morning. Please join me in giving a big, warm Unity welcome to Yoga Srini Maitreyi.
Thank you, Kyler, for that introduction. And thank you all for having me here again. It's always a blessing to be here in this church, this open-hearted and open-minded church. So thank you again. Today's topic is very, I would say, not just dear to me, but my mother, who I visited in India for over 4 months. And I just got back a month and a half ago. And there were a series of events that unfolded that again reminded me of this need to recommit to divine will. And this constant recommitment is what I'll be speaking of, not just from the Christian tradition, but also from the yogic tradition. So this is the time for meditation, and I'm going to invite everyone. I'll just move the chair so you can see what I'm doing. To sit comfortably on your chairs and just be aware of your posture. Now we're going to place the palms in a simple mudra called the Namaskara mudra. So this is a very, very common mudra used in India. So a mudra is an energetic or a mystic seal. It moves and seals energy in a specific fashion. So what this mudra means, Nama and Te. So I bow to you. And we're not bowing to each other's personality. Some personalities may be fun and great and all of that. But we're bowing to the universality that shines through the personality. So we'll keep our eyes closed for a moment, and let's bow to the universality that lays in us. Gently lower your head, and if your neck is not hurting, then see if you can touch your nose to the tip of your fingers. If it's hurting, then just don't go that far. And gently come up straight. Now let's take a deep breath, being aware of the sensations in our heart. Breathe in. And let's breathe out through the mouth, lips pouted. Breathe in through the nose, expanding lower, mid, upper chest, and breathe out with the lips pouted. One last time, breathe in, expanding, 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 and breathe out. And just be present to how your body is feeling this morning. How your heart is feeling this morning. This reconnection to the heart, to the cosmic heart, is what all the mystical traditions speak to, including the Christian mystical traditions. And it was beautiful to hear the Aramaic translation. How the word sat with me in a very, not just different, but on a deeper level. Releasing the knots of errors. I mean, it's a beautiful translation. I'll definitely like a copy of it. So let's stay with our heart. If there are any knots of errors that we've held on to, and we have some deep regret, some betrayals we've held on to, let's take that extra breath and release it through the exhalation. Let's breathe in to our hearts. And let's breathe out any knots of errors that we have done or others have done unto us. Oh, thank you. Now just be present to the space between the palms. And be aware of the sensations between the palms. We're bringing together the right and left, the masculine and feminine, the right side of the body connected to the left side of the brain, and vice versa. Right brain, the lateral, musical side of the brain, left brain, linear, masculine, mathematical side of the brain. So we're bringing or integrating all our pieces at the heart, all our fragments, all the so-called opposites in our hearts. And let's take another deep breath to that. Breathe in. Expand, expand, expand. And breathe out. Now let's gently raise this hand with our thumb touching the third eye, or the point between the eyebrows. Same Namaskara mudra. Or Namaste. Bowing the divine in the universality. Now bring this up the head, placing it on your head. We are being present to this opening, this willingness to open to divine will. And now bring your arms completely up, straight up, as a way of expressing in body language that we are surrendering to divine will. We're not going to prostrate on the ground, but this is another way of saying we surrender to divine will. There are many bodily postures used in prayer, used in different traditions to denote this divine and complete surrender. And let's take 3 breaths when our palms are together and arms right above our heads. Breathe in. Expand, expand, expand. And breathe out. Breathe in. Expand, expand, expand. And breathe out. Breathe in. Expand, stretch your arms even further, like you're reaching for the sky, and breathe out. And gently bring your palms all the way down and relax them on your lap. And we'll take a moment of silence to integrate all of these movements that denote awakening and active surrender. Bring your awareness to your body and your breathing. Now, if you don't know what to do with your hands, you can interlace them with the right thumb dominant. And this interlocking denotes communion or a wholesome coming together of polarities, the right and the left. So let's stay for a few moments in silence here. And should our minds wander, gently bring it back with kindness and compassion back to your body, the body being the inner child, and your breath, the breath being the cosmic connector, cosmic healer. So keep re-anchoring your mind in your body and breath for the next minute. Again, if your mind has wandered off to the to-do list, or you have a picnic after, or picnic, gently bring it back to your body, breathing, reconnecting not just to the body breath, but reconnecting and recommitting, surrendering to divine will. Now let's gently rub our palms. Place them on the eyes, soothing the eyes. And feeling the eyes turning inwards as we cultivate inside or inner sight. And gently flex arms. I'll hand it. I don't know if it's glitched a little bit or have it in position. I'll hand over to Nathan for a beautiful song.
I welcome space for the light to shine through.
I think it was the position, because it seemed to go away when
So that
you didn't have your hands by your face. However, if it does become a problem, then
all the joy, the love, the peace in this space. I create space for the light to shine through. I create space so that I am renewed. All the love, the joy, the peace in this space. I bless space for the light to shine through. I bless space so that I am renewed. All the love, the joy, the peace
What a beautiful song and a beautiful voice. Thank you. Thank you so much. So as I was sharing, I was in India for close to 4 months. And the purpose of the visit was going to Ayurvedic centers, visiting my mother there. And this was supposed to be a trip. Usually I take students, so this time it was just supposed to be a family trip. And here, my not-for-profit, Ross, he calls me Akka. Akka means big sister. So he's like family here. And my biological brother and mother, so the 4 of us were supposed to go to the Ayurvedic center. We did. And my brother had to leave early. So we went to 3 Ayurvedic centers. We booked one first, and it was not up to the mark. Then we went to the next one, and then they were a little bit rude to my mother. At the beginning, they were really nice. And then we went to a third one. And this one, they were like, they were all enthusiastic. They gave us the outline. And as we went in there, and this has never happened before. I've been to other centers, and, I have a grandmother who's into Ayurveda. So this one, they kind of were a bit aggressive, and they put me through 9 vastis. Now, what is a vasti? It is a colonic cleanse. And I was going, I won't give you the gory details, but I was going to the toilet 9 times or 8 times. So I was just wiped in those 5 days. And I was giddy, I was not feeling well. And I thought, oh, maybe it's part of the purging. It's part of the cleansing, which I wanted to do. I wanted to purge, purify, so that my body could become a vehicle of divine grace. And that's part of the yogic tradition, where the purification is not just of the mind, but of the body as well. And then that day they said, oh, I can start eating regular food, which they offered, and I started eating it, and I broke out into rashes. And I thought, oh, I'm just going to sleep it off. Next day is going to be fine. And then I wake up in the wee hours of the morning, and I have an anaphylactic reaction, which means my throat is closing up. And I wake up with the thought, I have to tell Ross where my bank accounts are so he can take care of my mother and give all to my mother. That's the thought I woke up with. And I was like, why am I having this thought? And I couldn't breathe, and I sat up, and I had just a little bit of space in that air passage where I knew, thankfully, some yogic pranayama techniques where I could keep my throat open. And I kept it open, and I told the assistant doctor who was there in that ward that, I can't breathe. She went, and she never came back. I was like, what is happening in this Ayurvedic center? And that morning, it was close morning, so I thought, okay, I don't have the energy. And plus, I didn't want to scare anybody else in the other rooms. Ross was in the other room, my mother was in the other room, my brother was gone by then. And so I was like, I'm not going to scare my mom. And, the doctor is not doing anything about it. So in the morning, we went to an actual medical doctor, not the Ayurvedic doctor, but the medical doctor. And he looked at me and said, you better take this seriously. You could have lost your life. He looked at all the hives and the rashes and my face and, how I looked. And he said, we need an EpiPen. And we were not able to locate an EpiPen. So for me, it took about till afternoon to figure out that this way is not doing anything. He gave me an Avil tablet. That didn't clear my throat. And I called another doctor, and he said, oh, this is pretty dangerous because your colon wall has been tampered with, or it's hurt, or the mucosa is hurt, and therefore you shouldn't have had regular food. And because you had regular food, your body's thinking it's foreign proteins, it's absorbed proteins it would normally not absorb, and therefore you're going through this crisis. So stop eating normal food, eat something really light, and for now you need some steroids, or you need a very quick hydrocortisone injection and Avil injection. And I was like, I just don't have energy to again go all the way to the hospital. So I just started taking, after all the purification, started taking steroids for 3 days. And that same night, my throat did open. So, I'm well and alive. But what kept me going during that period was this surrender to divine grace. And there were lots of thoughts of Jesus actually that came in that space, because my mother is a very devout Christian. She converted. And when I saw her worried face, all I could tell her was, remember what Jesus went through. This is nothing. I'm fine now. My throat is actually open. And she actually calmed down. And the Garden of Gethsemane is a beautiful example of how Jesus had mastered surrendering to divine will. When he knew he was going to be shamed, when he had to carry the collective trauma of the entire world, people the divine called as his children. And as I sat with my mother, I just saw the connections of how I was working through ancestral trauma. Not collective trauma, just my ancestral trauma, and it was a lot. So through this processing, through this sitting with myself, I realized that this recommitting to divine will, divine surrender, is there in all these beautiful mystical traditions for the purpose of our purification. The Ayurvedic center apart, there, of course, they didn't have emergency protocol, so I wrote them a long letter. That was independent. But as I sat with this pain, as I sat with this loss of power, I had to not just pray about it, breathe into it, and see that that pain was a portal for transformation. I had to see that very pain that I was processing with my mother. There were other pains, my pain in the womb, pain in my throat. All these different pains came to the surface. And that pain was actually showing me or taking me deeper to my purpose. And that pain actually became my power. And it was interesting, all this happened in April, just before my 50th birthday in May. So it was almost like a rebirthing that happened and a recommitting to divine will to say that I'm going to breathe through this, I'm going to move through this, and I'm going to recommit to divine will again and again, using Jesus as a beautiful role model for that. And my mother had gone through a lot of shame in her own life, not due to her own fault. This is how some Indian families, or most Indian families, are structured in that generation, where she never spoke of a lot of shame that her mother-in-law had put her through, and a lot of pain, that happened in the family dynamic. So that also came to the surface after many, many, many years. So in the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali also speaks to the attitudes with which we can, in a step-by-step manner, move through this pain, transform this trauma, and yet rise and commit to divine will. Not just on an intellectual level, but on a bodily, on an emotional level. So that realization is there for us. It is real for us. It's not just an intellectualization. And he beautifully lists it out in the Yoga Sutras. He says, Yogas chitta vritti nirodha. So he said these, chitta is, and vritti, chitta is the entire mind complex. That is the subconscious mind, the unconscious mind, all the layers of the mind. And vritti is aberrations. So he says this vritti is constantly happening in our minds. This is how the lake is. It's always rippling. Sometimes it's also storming. But how can we still this lake of the mind? And as we still the lake of the mind, we can actually see our reflection in that lake and see our true reflection. Otherwise, we see this agitated lake and then think that is us. And he gives us, again, a step-by-step method to release this agitation of the mind that can be due to lack of surrender, that could be due to trauma, that could be due to some stressors in our lives. and he lays it out as Ashtanga Yoga. So Ashta is 8 and Anga is limbs. So these 8 limbs of yoga are a very step-by-step methodology for divine surrender, because it starts with non-violence, and it can look like the 10 commandments, because there are 10 Yama and 10 Niyama. So there are similarities there, but slight differences as well. So the first one is ahimsa, or non-violence. The last one is Ishvara Pranidhana. Ishvara means the divine beingness. Ishvara is just pure beingness. It doesn't mean God, it means pure beingness. Pranidhana is to offer everything we do in surrender of this beautiful divinity, this beingness. So the first one, again, I'm saying is ahimsa, and we end with Ishvara Pranidhana. So it is a step-by-step method of not passive surrender where we give up and say, oh, I can't do anything in this life and I'm just surrendering, but a very active surrender. So the first 5 Yama I'll speak to. These Yama means restraint. So Patanjali says that if we are born on this planet Earth, we have certain animal drives and impulses, and therefore, as we become more conscious, we have to consciously restrain these impulses. And we can do it with karuna, sakshi bhava. Now, karuna is actionable compassion. Sakshi bhava is witnessing. So as we witness our conditioning, as we witness how we act, speak, think, then we have an idea as to this patterned human being that we are, and say, okay, can we shift this patterning for the harmony of everyone, including ourselves? So the first one with which we observe ourselves is ahimsa, or non-violence. Himsa is violence, and ahimsa, whenever in Sanskrit we add the word a to it, then it negates that word. So himsa, violence, ahimsa, non-violence. So we observe ourselves with respect to non-violence in relationship to ourselves, in relationship to others, and relationship to the world. And we say, okay, can we reel in that impulse to be violent if we don't get what we want, maybe not our needs met, but get what we want? Or can we do this in a more refined, more harmonious way? So at different levels of evolution, non-violence could mean different things to us. I was earlier working with a lot of kids in the slums in India. And then there, in that scenario, it is a very violent environment, and that's an environment where a lot of killings happen, and you can hire people, just to go and you can get a hitman from that area. It was very, very popular. So as I started working there, my friends were joking. They were saying, hey, if we need somebody like, we call it supari. Supari is like, get rid of somebody, we can connect with you because you know people in that area. That's how famous that area was, to hire somebody for cheap to take somebody's arm off or leg off. I mean, I'm not smiling about it, but I'm just saying that it was so common there. And so these kids grow up in this environment which is shocking, but which is also in some ways very enlightening to see what violence really means to them. So there was this young boy hitting this girl, and one of them was screaming, and one of the teachers went to them and said, oh, this is not what you should be doing, and they never listened. So she came and told me, and then I went and had a talk with them, and I said, I heard you were being violent, and all of them refuted it. And I was like, but this teacher, who's lying? Is it the teacher or you? And then both of them came together and both described it, and all of them looked at me and said, oh, okay, that's nothing, If somebody dragged somebody's hair and dragged them through the street, that's violence. So for me, it was very eye-opening to see how different people view violence with the refinement or with the systems we've created in our lives. And so for those kids, what I perceived as violence was not violent, it was just day to day for them. Day-to-day screaming, day-to-day hitting each other, day-to-day being in that environment. And so Patanjali beautifully says that we need to sit with it and say, okay, relative to a rough area, what we have is less violent, but relative to the masters, are we truly being less violent? So that is the contemplation in each of the Yama that is asked of us. So I'll just list the Yama. Yama means, again, restraint. Restraining this impulse to hurt another or hurt ourselves, to not have healthy boundaries, and that way we can also hurt ourselves. So Patanjali lists ahimsa, then satya. Satya is truth, or the larger reality, the larger perspective. It's like having a bird's eye view and then seeing something up front. When we're in a safari, we're actually happy to spot a tiger or a lion, but if the tiger is up front, of course, it's scary. So the truth of our being, the truth of our reality can change depending on the situation, but not just that, how close or how far we are from that situation. So that perspective is also what Patanjali asks us to cultivate. So ahimsa we have, satya is truth. Ahimsa, satya, aparigraha. So aparigraha we have is non-grasping. We stop grasping onto life with greed, but have this capacity to let go and allow. So ahimsa, satya, asteya, we have non-stealing as well. So non-stealing, again, not just stealing money, but not stealing time, not stealing energy, not stealing somebody's affection, but being in healthy communication where there's healthy and conscious reciprocity. So that is also spoken of in the Yoga Sutras. And then we have brahmacharya. And brahmacharya is usually translated as celibacy, but here it means living. Brahma is this creative principle, this cosmic consciousness. And acharyam is to behave in accordance. So brahmacharya is behaving in accordance with this cosmic consciousness. So we're behaving in accordance with building trust, not titillation. We're behaving in accordance with harmonizing our sexual energies and engaging in a way where the sexual activity is sanctified and uplifted. And that is true brahmacharya. So we have these 5 yama that he lists that become a contemplation point to not only be present to our lives with compassion, but also gently shift things for the better. So every day we sit with it and say, how am I in relationship to all this? Then we have the Niyama. So the Yama, conscious restraint, conscious reeling in these impulses, and Niyama, conscious cultivation. So he says, okay, we have to consciously restrain 5 of these things and consciously cultivate 5 of these aspects. And the first one there is Saucham. So Saucham is purification. And that's why I went to India, which backfired. I thought I was going to purify myself, and there I was with excessive purification. But that's a constant habit that we cultivate, not just keeping our homes clean, but the internal environment also clean. So that is Saucham. And Santosham, so an active cultivation of contentment. This principle of gratitude. So constantly every day saying, I'm content with what I have. Not complacent, but content. And this contentment releases these vrittis, these aberrations. So all these yama and niyama are there so that we can release these vrittis that he talks about. This restlessness of the mind, this storm of the mind, these whirlpools of the mind can be gently released. We're not trying to control it, we're not trying to push it into submission, but through this constant self-observation, we are harmoniously releasing these vrittis or these aberrations of the mind. So through santosham as well, cultivation of gratitude, cultivation of contentment, we are gently releasing these aberrations or these whirlpools of the mind. So we have santosham, and after that we have swadhyaya. So swadhyaya means self-study, not a narcissistic self-study, but a way in which we understand ourselves, we understand our conditioning, we understand our patterning. So that is another very important step. And Patanjali tells us that the more swadhyaya we have, the more we will connect with our Ishta Devata. Now, Ishta Devata, Ishta is like the form we like. Devata is the form of divinity that we feel close to. So your Ishta Devata can be Mother Mary, your Ishta Devata can be Jesus, Ishta Devata can be Krishna, your Ishta Devata can be your guru's lineage, wherever you come from. So he says the more self-awareness we have, the more connection we are able to create, as the beautiful song said, the more spaciousness we have. And in this spaciousness we can heal, and in this spaciousness we can allow for the melting of the personality, where this divinity and universality shines through more beautifully. And then the last two are tapas, last two niyama. Niyama means conscious cultivation. Our tapas. Tapas is a practice or a discipline. So you would tell yourself, yeah, I'm going to do the novena for 40 days, or I'm just going to do the Hail Mary for 21 days, or I'm just going to do a prayer or a sadhana. In the yogic sadhana, we have certain practices. We might chant a mantra, or we can, a mantra is a tool to hone and transcend the limitations of the mind. Or we do a physical kriya, which shifts things on a somatic level, the trauma we're holding on the somatic level. So for 21 days or 40 days, we do a practice of purification, which counts as tapas, to committing to that solid practice, committing and saying, my universality, or to allow this universality through my personality, is more important. I'm not going to be stuck in this personality. And understanding there could be good things in your personality, but sifting through and saying, okay, if there are things that don't serve us, then the tapas can be a way of releasing those aberrations that are there in the personality, which create more vritti. And the more we identify with these aberrations or vrittis of the mind, then the further away we come from universality, or committing to divine will, or being able to, naturally being able to surrender to divine will. And the last one of the niyamas is Ishvara Pranidhana, which is surrendering to divine will. So Patanjali starts with non-violence and he ends with surrendering to divine will, because he reminds us that it's not a passive surrender, but a beautiful and active, conscious surrender of transforming all this pain, all this disharmony that we're having in this human experience into this complete letting go. And we're going to do a very, very simple practice. If you do have some water, I'm going to invite you to hydrate a bit. And sit comfortably and just stretch your legs a little forward. And we're going to gently go down, holding on to our ankles. Now, if this is not available to you, just hold on to your thighs. That's fine as well. And gently lift your neck up as we breathe in. And gently lift your neck down. So we're going to add a breath to this. Breathe in, gently look up, and sigh out. Breathe in, gently look up. If this is too much, come up a bit. You don't have to go that down. And breathe out, sighing out. Breathe in, gently look up. And breathe out and sigh out. And now just surrender to your lap a bit. place both your palms on your lap and just surrender to that position of just looking down. Now, this position of bowing in many cultures says, I'm not here to compete. I'm not here to aggressively stare you in the eyes. But I can lower this personality. I can let go of the dysfunctionalities in the personality. I can create space in my personality to allow for this universality to shine through. And Jesus, with his great love, was shamed, was tormented, ridiculed. His physical body tortured. And yet, with that deep surrender, he rose from that pain. He rose into the divine and resurrected. And this is the same principle Patanjali speaks of as well. That our pain can be transformed. And to use that portal. So we're going to breathe into any pain spots in our body as we are in this position of surrender. Let's breathe in. And bring your mind to any area of your body that's in pain. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now, those of you who have the flexibility, gently touch the earth with the tips of your fingers and create that connection with the earth. If not, just visualize touching the earth. You don't have to physically touch it. And gently come up and keep your eyes closed for a moment. And interlace your fingers and your thumb. Right thumb is dominant. To how your back is feeling. As our backs become stiff on a physiological level, yoga also keeps reminding us that we're as young as our spine, and we can surrender to the extent we have a healthy spine. It's interesting how the spine becomes a means of physiological or embodied surrender. We want a strong spine, and yet we want a flexible spine so that we can bow to the divine, we can bend to the divine. And this beautiful spine is called the Brahmadanda or the Merudanda, the walking stick of the divine. So we need to allow the divine to walk through our backs or walk through our vertebral column and the impulses in the spine. Now let's take 3 deep breaths. Breathe in. Expand, 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 and breathe out through the mouth. Breathe in. Expand, 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 and breathe out. Breathe in. Expand, expand, and breathe out. Now this breath, I would invite you to take any length of inhalation and then breathe out with a sound you feel inspired will release anything that's stuck in you, the pain that is preventing you from finding your purpose, where the pain becomes obsessive, either emotional, physical, mental. Think about it and just use a cathartic sound that taps into it and you know will release it. Let's breathe in. You can continue or you can release with a sound. Mine was a little sharp, but we'll do this again. Breathe in. You can change the sound. Breathe in. And again, you can change the sound or stick to the same sound. And let's rub our palms together. And keep the eyes closed. Placing the palms on our closed eyes. Again, reminding us to cultivate inner sight or insight. The insight into all these 10 principles, starting with non-violence and ending with conscious surrender. Each of the steps guiding us more towards active surrender, guiding us more towards releasing the vritti, or the aberrations, or the agitation in the still lake of the mind. And as the lake stills, we're able to see our divine reflection more clearly. Now we'll gently release the palms, come back to where we are. And one last thing that Patanjali says is the attitude towards I see someone shaking her head really vigorously, which is nice. The attitude towards the whole process. And I love this little story where there was a student who went and asked his guru, teacher, he's a very intelligent student, so he went and asked his teacher or guru, how is it that you're asking me to do this practice for years and years? And there I have this well-marketed, kind of motivational guru, like he's going to transform me in half a weekend, Your techniques must be really bad and old that you're asking me to practice for this many years. Now, how many more years? Tell me. So the guru says, oh, not years, it's lifetimes. You had 10 lifetimes, and by your attitude, you just made it 50. There's another student who comes and speaks to the guru, not the most intelligent, but a humble student. And he comes and tells his master, Master, I know I'm not the smartest in class, but I was just a little curious. I don't mind doing all these practices. Please, just guide me and tell me how many more lifetimes, so that way I can really prepare for it. I'm really excited to do the work. And the master looks at him and says, yeah, I know certain, concepts are very difficult for you. Sometimes even self-awareness is difficult, but you are at it. And you had about 20 lifetimes, but by your attitude, you just made it 5. So that's the story where as much as we're intelligent about figuring things out and getting shortcuts, the Yoga Sutras tell us that the sincerity and the attitude towards the approach of divine surrender is very, very important. So thank you, everyone. It's been a delight to be here again. Thanks for the invitation, and it's lovely to see all the known faces and the faces that are known through spirit. Thanks again, and I'll hand over for the beautiful music.
prepare to you a song of devotion and surrender. And it's very repetitive, so I hope that once you get comfortable with it, you'll sing along with me. May all that I think and all that I do be a prayer to you, a prayer to you, prayer to you. May all that I think and all that I do be a prayer to you, a prayer to you, my love. In every face may I see you. In every voice may I hear you. In all that is, may this be true. May we be one. May I be you. May all that I think and all that I do be a prayer to you, a prayer to you, a prayer to you. May all that I think and all that I do be a prayer to you, a prayer to you, my love. In every breath may I breathe you. In every drop may I taste you. In all that is, may this be true. May we be one. May I be you. May all that I think and all that I do, let me hear you, be a prayer to you, a prayer to you, a prayer to you. May all that I think and all that I do be a prayer to you, a prayer to you, my love. In every touch may I feel you. In every heart may I feel you. In all that is, may this be true. May we be one. May I be you. May all that I think and all that I do be a prayer to you, a prayer to you, a prayer to you. May all that I think and all that I do be a prayer to you, a prayer to you, my love. Be a prayer to you, my love. Be a prayer to you, my love. A prayer to you.
Thank you, Nathan. Always beautiful. Thank you. And thank you. Oh my goodness, so many thoughts. So many thoughts. So many thoughts. Thank you so much for that beautiful talk. It was really lots to digest and think about. Thank you. So now we come to the time in our service where we bless our love offerings. Your generosity enables all that we do here. We thank you, and we want you to know your giving blesses the world in many, many ways. And now our offering statement all together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. If you are here in person, please drop off your donations with the ushers as you exit the sanctuary. To donate online, simply click on the donate link in your chat window. You can give via all major credit cards. Awesome. So we have some great events coming up, including today. It is our annual picnic. It's finally here. Our annual picnic Unity is today at Maple Grove Park, 6875 U Street, Vancouver, starting about 12:45. Please bring a dish to share and a chair, a blanket, or even a game, or even a musical instrument. You'll find a map of the picnic location on our website. Lovely Marion has printed off some maps as well at the bookstore. The part of the park where we will be is at the southwest corner, for those of you who can understand directions. Awesome. So curious about what Unity really is about? More than just our Sunday services? Whether you're new, returning, or just now ready to learn a little deeper, Unity 101 is a chance to explore the root teachings and present-day vision of this spiritual movement. Led by licensed teacher, Unity teacher, Alexandra Gale, this 4-week series weaves together story, music, videos, and open dialogue to ground you in Unity's radical beginnings and metaphysical foundations. This course provides a space where you can ask questions, connect with others, and feel into what Unity means to you personally. Unity 101 will take place on Wednesday evenings beginning September 3rd through September 25th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on the lower level here at the center. So as many of you know, we now provide child minding on Sunday mornings. We are currently looking for one more assistant to support our lead facilitators in caring for children aged 1 to 10 from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 on Sundays. This can be either a volunteer role or a paid position at $18 to $20 per hour beginning in late September. If you even know a young person who sounds like they would be a good fit and resonates with Unity's teachings, please let them know. The details are available in print at the bookstore, or you can connect directly with lovely Margaret McLeod. Margaret, can you just stand up? Thank you. So our Course in Miracles study group is live here in the center every Tuesday from 12:30 to 2:30 in the lower level here at the center. Next Sunday morning, if you come early, you can check out our mastermind prayer groups. It's a great way to learn and experience the power of group prayer. Meetings are downstairs in the meditation room every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 10:30, again on the lower level. In honor of Unity's World Day of Prayer, the prayer chaplains at Unity of Vancouver will be holding your request in confidential group prayer on September 11th. You can find a beautiful gold box on the bookstore countertop, available until September 7th. Simply fill out and place it inside, and our chaplains are honored to hold sacred space for you. And finally, next week, we'll be joined by Rev. Hannah-Laura with her talk, Trusting the Divine Order. And, ready? So today, our front prayer chaplains are Raymond Lancaster, Shirley Thompson, myself, Kyler Lubinich, thank you, Car. And on Zoom, Marilyn Norrie. Thanks, Marilyn. If you would like to receive a confidential prayer, come up at the end when the music's over, and we will be happy to hold your requests in prayer with you. Okay, and one more thing before we close out service here. I want to take a moment to celebrate someone who's been such a gift to us here at Unity, Matthew Purcell. Matthew has been a huge support at Unity's tech team, and unfortunately, he will be leaving us. He's been here Sunday in and Sunday out, along with many events in between. He's been here making sure things run smoothly. He brings such a steady, calm presence, and sometimes that's the only thing that stands between us and complete microphone, camera, and light and streaming chaos. Matthew, would you mind just coming out for a second? I have a gift for you. I didn't tell him, so... Yay, Matthew! Thank you, Matthew. And also, a sad fact as well. Do you know most of the time, the first time men receive flowers is at their funeral? Isn't that sad? So I just spread flowers to men too. They deserve them. They're beautiful. So maybe, Matthew, give them to Randy when you're done. Yeah. Okay, and now as we bring this gathering to a close, please stand and let us together say our prayer for protection. All together now. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And please remain standing for our peace song.
That was meant to be when God as creator found we all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.
Oh, hi. Yeah, if you're on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. We send you our love and look forward to seeing you next week. If you're here on Zoom and want to pray confidentially with a chaplain in a private chat room, please accept your breakout invitation, which will pop up on your screen shortly. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.